Hello everyone, this is Johnny Orange, and today I am going over some of the game basics and mistakes players often make. So here I am on Rubicon, I'm light infantry, and if you didn't know this, light infantry has a big disadvantage on this map. Because look at the forest area and look at the cap points. So if there's light infantry in the forest, there's no reason that you need to fight them. You can just go and cap. You know, that's just the basics. So, and then they have this tower. I'm on the worst side for light infantry, because at least on the other side they can hold the tower. On this side there's no vision. So I'm just sitting in this forest that can be ignored. No one needs to actually fight me in the forest. And if you're thinking, well then archers can shoot me from there and there's catapults that can shoot me from there, there's actually buildings in the cap point. If you put your units right against that, they will have to advance to be able to shoot at you. And a lot of people forget the goal of the game, which is to capture that point. And I do it too. I'll go on a big ass killing spree, think I'm doing great, only to forget that I'm meant to be trying to cap, and then I end up losing. So as you can see here, this is actually pretty brilliant. What happens is, they are advancing and they see the cavalry units, and I try to get the cavalry to try to bait them into the forest. And the cavalry actually does a pretty good job at this, because okay, when you're light infantry you get a massive advantage in the forest areas, and most people get nerfed in the forest areas. So as you can see, there's pikes there. I'm not going to leave the forest to help him. I'll wait for him to bring those pikes to me so I can kill them. Unfortunately, it does end up wedging his cavalry in, and yeah, I could have played that a bit better. I should have had my spears a bit more forward. But he did bait a lot of units into this forest area. So now basically I'm just trying to get my units in front of his cavalry to stop them from being able to kill his cavalry units. And as you can see, they've obviously clicked on his cavalry, which has pushed them through my light infantry, making them take massive amount of casualties. So that's one thing to remember, is when you're moving your units forward and you're attacking, if someone gets in the way, you have to engage them or retreat. You can't just try to push through, or else you'll die. And as you can see, this happens in a lot of games, and it happens to me myself. Like, you see an ally make a massive mistake, and this is the thing I am the worst at. Like, I see an ally make a massive mistake, and I decide, oh, I have to back them up. I have to back them up. They're going to die. But all you're really doing is you're going into the same trap, giving the team a massive advantage. If your ally makes a mistake, you're better off just letting them fucking die, because this will happen. So if you rewind a bit, you'll see, okay, some heavies went in there, right? You know, some pikes went in there. And then all these other people decide, oh well, shit, they're going in, we'll go in. But let me explain that a bit better. So, okay, you're a new player, right? This is the things you have to learn. Okay, so you see tier 7 spears. Okay, that's the Roman side, because there's no tier 7 spears on any other side. Okay, Germanicus, I think it's his ultimate, only affects sword units, so it's not going to be Germanicus. So it has to be Scipio. And if it's Caesar, well then someone's fucking shit at playing Caesar. So basically, if you're not able to kill him with charges, then there's no point going in there unless you're also light infantry. You know, you're just putting yourself at a massive disadvantage, because Scipio has oath. So even if you surround him, he's not going anywhere. And the other thing is, if you just saw one of your own units get smashed, just completely annihilated in seconds, don't send another unit in there against Scipio. Unless you're charging them in the back, you're destroying them in the charge, there's no point of sending another unit in there just to die. And quite frankly, if you're playing Alexander, like you see I've got anviled a few times, if you're playing Alexander and you're not cavalry this patch, then you're doing something wrong. There's no point of being Alexander, because his anvil is so useless now. Like, it's just horrible. Like, it's just a bad combo. Unless you have the quickest fucking cav and the quickest reaction speed, or you have like this amazing team coordination, Anvil is completely useless. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be players out there that say, oh, well, Anvil's fine, I play it all the time, it does fine, and all this shit. Well, okay, all my videos, I am not one of those players that's out there with amazing fucking reaction speeds and fucking this is the best player in the world. These videos are about helping new players. So if you're fucking doing great as Alexander with infantry, then good for you, mate. Good for you, but no one else is. There's like probably fucking 3 people that can do that. So good for you. But go fuck yourselves. Anyways, back to the video. As you can see, I didn't really do anything that special. You know, it's just people don't know the basics, and that's why they get destroyed. But anyway, let's move on to the second game, and I previously did say that all spears were pretty damn weak. You know, they pretty much have to defend their range units and that's about it. But when I made that comment, I was talking about the Greek side who's meant to have spears, while the Roman side only has 2 and 1 is premium. But the fact is, the Roman spears with Scipio is like 4 stars. It's up there with one of the best units. Because for one, their melee defense is really high, so when you pop oath, it's even larger than usual. And I'm just going to explain how to play it on this map in general. So, when you're playing light infantry, the biggest threat is barbarians and traps. So what I like to do is just advance very quickly. Like, don't give the bloody barbarians enough time to scout at all. Just charge ahead, and when you're charging ahead though, keep an eye out for traps. When you see traps, actually retreat all the way back to your forest, like the end of your forest area, and then advance again until they advance into you. Because what you're trying to avoid is getting scouted and then getting shot down by arrows. But if you advance quickly, you basically are forcing them into a combat situation where you should beat barbarians. At the moment, we will find out what happens later on once they release more units for the barbarians and more commanders. And the best thing about Scipio and how he counters barbarians with light infantry is that he has oath. So you go in there, and what's the barbarians' advantage? They can surround you quickly and they can destroy you with their frenzy. But if you pop oath, they have a hard time using that advantage. So if you force them in a situation where you're just going straight in, like this, unfortunately I didn't run into barbarians, I ran into heavy swords, but you will see barbarians later. But pretty much I've forced them out of the jungle area, I've forced them onto the edge of it. And that's what I want to do. Like, now they can't use their own advantage of being in the jungle and having that, you know, that control over the map. Because I've gone through there like a fucking tornado and just ripped up everything. So the idea is, you'll see it later on. Okay, so I clear out the jungle. I get them into that situation where they either have to friendly fire, like they have to do something, like they can friendly fire and kill me because that's Scipio's weakness is archer fire. You know, so they can do that and that player will lose a shit ton of points. Or they just get out of the jungle. You know, get out of the forest areas. Which means I can just wait. That's the thing is, don't advance. I do this mistake a few times and it never works. Don't advance. Wait for your allies. So clear out the forest areas really quickly and then wait for your allies. Because what happens is, with light infantry, well, light spears with Scipio, is you can take on any unit as long as they don't charge you. So wait for your allies, wait for them to engage, then go in, then pop Warcry and make them retreat, and then pop oath on a unit that happens to engage into you. And that's the best way to do it. It's hard to really explain. Like, if you play it a few times, you'll start figuring it out. But basically, if you clear the forest, you've done your job. Like, you've protected your heavy infantry so they can advance. You know, they're not going to be surprised by an ambush. So you've cleared out all that forest area. So now your heavy infantry can advance and they engage in combat and you support them. Which I suck at. To be honest, like, I clear out the forest and then I just keep going half the time. I just can't be bothered waiting for this heavy infantry that's still fucking sitting at base. Now, if they have trapped the forest area, which happens a fair bit, if you start getting rained on by ranged units, well then you have rapid advance and quick march. I think it's called rapid advance. That's 60% movement speed buff and quick march, and just go around it or kill it. Like if you're not getting shot at, kill it. If you are getting shot at, just go around it, even if you have to go into the open areas. And then of course sometimes you will fall into just a trap of, you know, you get scouted, there's traps there, and then there's archers, but that's like, you know, that's three players countering basically, so you know that's just your shit out of luck basically. But then if you are team queuing, you can do the same thing. You have barbarians following just behind you, scouting ahead, so you can see those traps and you know not to advance, and then you could have archer support, and you could actually just wait for the barbarians to lure the enemy into combat, and then you support him. Like, you know, it's just a never-ending thing. But you know, if you're solo queuing, basically what I've told you works a lot. And as you can see, I did take a lot of damage from a cavalry charge. But the thing is, I am spears. So just take that damage and don't panic. Just start fighting that cav unit. The minute they charge you, just start killing it back. Like, you know, that's just, look at that. It's a pretty even charge right there. I killed probably more than he killed me. So, you know, just fight back, because you're spears. That's the one advantage you have over swords. Anyway guys, I'll probably make a more in-depth video about all this stuff, but I thought I'll give you guys this information as quick as possible. I want you guys to know about it and be able to take advantage of it. So there it is, use it as you will. And that's what a lot of my new videos will be. Like, I'm still discovering stuff for myself. So the minute I discover something, I'll make a quick video on it, and then I'll probably make a more in-depth one later. You know, but if I discover something that I think is, you know, really important for other people to know, like if you upgrade your fucking bows, you do the same amount of damage, I'll share it with you guys. Anyway guys, if you like this video, please subscribe and thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time, and in the meantime, enjoy your gaming.